There are two main windows in Pro Tools, the Edit window and the Mix window. So I'm in the Edit window. If I maximize its size, and then I go to the Mix window, and I maximize its size, I can use the Command equals, Control equals on a PC to switch between those two windows all day long. In the Window menu, under Arrange, I can have these two windows tiled, or I can cascade them one on top of the other. I used a full-sized edit window, a full-sized mix window, and I used that command equals, control equals on a PC, to switch between them. Now, if you've got a giant monitor and you like to see all things on the screen at the same time, there are lots of ways for you to configure. When you find a configuration you like, that's where you save it. New configuration. Pro Tools has other windows. Let's look at the transport window. We saw this when we first booted up Pro Tools. It shows us counters and buttons to activate the transport, to start and stop Pro Tools, to put it into record. All of this information is available to us in the top menu by choosing what we display or not. And one more, the big counter, just like advertised, it's big and it's a counter. And both of these are float windows, which means that if I change the underlying window, I'm going to use Command equals to change to the mix window, these windows are still in the way and float to the top. Switching back to the edit window. And these each have their own keystrokes. The little icon around the number means that you want to use the keypad one, not the one above the letter Q. Let's look at some zoom options. I'm going to put these windows away. I told you that my favorite zoom is Command bracket. I'm here, I want to see more, I do Command bracket the other way. I can usually find what I need to see fairly fast. So let's say I've got this little elephant up here, and I'm going to zoom my way. One more zoom, it's still not filling the space. There's a zoom tool up here. The normal zoom and the single zoom, if you type the key F5, you'll switch between those two tools. So let's use the single zoom tool. I'm already in keyboard focus, and with this clip selected, if I type the letter E for edit, it will zoom to fit, and I can type the letter E to zoom back out again. So the steps are switch to the single zoom tool, which you can do with the F5 key. Be sure you're in keyboard focus. Type the letter E to zoom in on what you've selected. Type the letter E to zoom back to where you were. F6 and 7 together will switch you back to the Smart tool, which is usually where you want to be. Pro Tools has a playback cursor and an edit cursor, and most of the time you'll want those to be linked, and you link them using this button. There's also a command in the Options menu to link timeline and edit selection. You'll have them linked most of the time. An exception might be where you want to reference the first chorus while you're editing the second chorus. And just above that in the Options menu are Edit Window scrolling options. If we're zoomed in pretty tight and we hit play, let me unselect my elephant, and so you can see that it's scrolling us through page after page after page as we play here. I could zoom back out and watch it do that, watch the cursor move along. Gee, that's a noisy elephant. But in a particular song, you might want to have a different scrolling option. If I'm zoomed out, the options are no scrolling at all, which means that you'll always be looking at the same thing no matter where your cursor is. After playback, it's going to play, keep playing after it gets off this page, and once I hit stop, it's going to jump to where the cursor is now. Continuous. Keeps the cursor in the middle and moves the information across like a player piano. Going back to options, page is my favorite here. If you chose after playback, let it go past this page now, so that our cursor is now off the page. See this little blue triangle? That means your cursor's over there. It's pointing to where the cursor is. Now it's pointing to tell me that the cursor is back that way. So that's what that little blue arrow is all about.